Here now to discuss Rick Ungar. The Pod Complex, by the way, a new podcast is really rocking. He's also a host of that show, and he's a Forbes senior political contributor. Fox News contributor Liz Peek is with us. DJ Peterson, Longview Global Advisors president, former Eurasia Group director, and Gina Loudon, member of the Donald J. Trump for President Advisory Board. Liz Peek, let me start with you. Let's do two topics, one at a time. First, the tariffs. Now, we already knew there was going to be tariffs on $200 billion worth of exports, ratcheting it up to 25%. I think the timing is remarkable. The Shanghai Stock Exchange is down 63% from its high in 2005. Export orders are at a 25-month low. We saw almost every element of China's economy starting to crumble. They're spending a lot of money. They're forcing banks to make cash loans and on debt that, by the way, is crappy debt. They're in trouble. President Trump going for the victory here.
And private companies are going into default in China at record numbers. So there really are a lot of data points that the economy is struggling. The timing is right for this step up in pressure. Also, by the way, there was a long article in the New York Times about President Xi Jinping coming under criticism for the first time, really, since he became sort of president for life from leading intellectuals in China. There is a definite backlash growing in China. As you point out, the stock market is under pressure. The currency has taken a nosedive. I think this is the time to do this. Obviously, the Republican establishment is horrified because they're worried it will impact us. But here's the important point that Trump is totally right on. It hurts China more than it hurts us.
Right. Now, to your point, Section 301 under the 1974 Trade Act says that we should and can do these kind of things. But here's the interesting part. The retaliation list should have products that are carefully selected to minimize the adverse impact on U.S. consumers, firms, and workers. So that's a sticky point, right? You have a whole lot of folks on the financial side saying that that won't be adhered to, that somehow we're going to really even derail possibly this economy.
Yeah, you know, it's fascinating what's happening right now. You couldn't have picked a better time to get involved in this issue. And as you know, Charles, I have sympathy for where the president's going as it pertains to China. I think this intellectual property problem is very serious for our future. So the timing is working out well. China's in a real rough patch right now. I do worry a great deal about the impact this may have on some of our companies. You know, I come from the world where toys were a big part of it. And man, you start putting tariffs on all those toy imports, this is going to rock that industry. That's just one industry. But you know what? I want to hear the president stand up and say there's going to be pain spread around. Let's be good Americans and let's get behind it if that's what we're going to do. But please lay off of our friends in the EU for now.
Well, I think that's going to be cool. In fact, we may get breaking news before the week's over on a deal with China, at least on automobile manufacturing, and that would be huge if we can get Mexico on board, the EU on board. You know, DJ, I read an article in the South China Morning Post this morning where they actually ridiculed our tariffs, saying, hey, you know, America's not serious. They're putting tariffs on marmalade, right? So, you know, they're putting you and Paddington. But, you know, what they're saying essentially is they're actually saying more than we are in terms of the economic impact that may not be as harsh as people are saying, or, of course, a lot of us are hoping it doesn't have to be harsh at all.
Right. Well, it's coming at a time of very strong U.S. growth, so Americans are feeling positive about that. So, you know, the way the Trump slices and dices these tariffs and these actions will be really important. How does it affect the automotive sector? How does it affect the agricultural sector? How does it affect the liquor exports that are very important for us? So it's going to be very important to watch how it affects very specific segments of the U.S. economy and what that means for votes this fall.
Gina, speaking of votes, President Trump at that rally in Florida, he was feeling it last night, and he pointed out that, hey, the farmers are with him. The farmers understand what he's trying to accomplish. The farmers also understand that they're specifically being targeted, and we know there's a political gamble to all of this. But President Trump confident in the American people understanding what he's trying to achieve. Do you think he's right?
I 100% do. Charles, I was front and center at that rally last night with my entire family, and I've been to other rallies. This rally in particular was absolutely electric, and it involved a lot of rural people and a lot of farmers. There's a massive farming population, as you know, in Florida, and they're still on board. And the reason is because, Charles, they're watching this president, looking at his track record and the things that he said he was going to do and the promises that he has kept. Promises made, promises kept. So they're trusting that he has a strategy here. And even if we feel momentary pain in some ways, I've heard leaders of industry and farmers alike say that's a risk they're willing to take because trade has been too lopsided for too long and they want it fixed. So people are trusting his instincts here and his strategy.
Yeah, I have to disagree a bit. I talked to a lot of farmers coming, especially from Ohio, which is a big state for farming. The farmers are hopeful. I think that's true. They're hopeful that the president can get this sorted out quickly. But at this point, I'm not sensing that the farmers are necessarily with them.
Well, I think that's why it's very important to get this Mexico agreement in place. And I think there has been increased optimism that NAFTA will be redone and put to bed soon, because then President Trump can point to his strategy and his measures that he's taken and say, look, it won, we won, right. This is what we wanted to do.
And Gina, that would be huge if we say, okay, we've agreed with Europe to work toward resolution, ultimately perhaps even zero tariffs, even though that's that's long way down the road, but that's been called off. You can get Mexico to cut a deal, particularly when this new president in Mexico is elected. We thought it was going to be harder, not easier. This makes it not only more achievable, possible to achieve a resolution with Canada, but I think it strengthens our hand with China.
Right. Yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree, Charles. And the one thing I would say to my good friend Rick is that...
One second, DJ. I'll bring you in after Gina.
Rick, all due respect, you live in New York. I live in Florida. I'm here. I talk to these people every day. And before this, I also lived in a rural area. And I mean this with all due respect, but I don't think those inside the bubble or those living on the coast perhaps have the same sort of insight as those of us. I'm originally from the Midwest, too, and I am talking to these people, Rick, and they are trusting that there's a strategy. And not only that, Rick, but we have seen the track record of this president so far. And his base is trusting him to continue the good path that he's on with Mexico, with Canada, and ultimately with China as well.
I know Gina's underestimating Rick's farm cred here.
That's right.
But if you ever get a chance, watch Green Acres and you'll understand everything.
I'm Arnold Stiefel. I'm the pig.
All right, DJ, I want to give you the last word here with respect to the economy. The market knew this news was coming, even though it broke just moments ago, and it didn't seem to have a major impact on the session. What's going on?
Right. Well, I think you have a broad-based economic growth here. The United States is not as dependent on exports. There's a lot going for the U.S. economy right now. So the pain from tariffs is actually only affecting a small sliver of the U.S. economy. Remember, we still have very vibrant sectors such as technology, consumer and retail. Consumer sentiment is very strong right now. Investment is strong right now. Real estate is very strong right now. So there are a lot of parts of the economy that are doing well and can hold up right now against selective tariff increases.
And also, I think the market believes we'll get resolution on this before it gets worse. All right, guys, thank you all very much.